Hello and welcome into Love Yourself Spiritual Channel. My name is Peggy. I'm going to continue our major arcana reads this morning, and we're going to do the star, oh, maybe, the moon, and the sun. We got all the planets today. So starting, actually, yeah, I'm going to shift this just a little bit. 1 second. So you can see the table a little more clearly. That's better. So we're going to start with the star energy. And this is the Genshin Tarot. It's only major arcana decks. It's a game, I guess. So they're only the spiritual energies in this deck, which is what we're looking at. The star is the thing that you wish upon. It's your dreams, your hopes, your desires. And these things are the things that you came to want to reach for, the things that will light your path. And they do have to be reached for. These are the things that, while they could involve and have talents, certainly, that are innate to you, to help you along the path, they are still something that you actually have to actively go after. You have to actively put forth effort to achieve. And they're the things in this life that you definitely should not give up. Never give up on your star, never give up on your dream, because they are there as something to guide you. Just as a star, the North Star is, a symbol of following your path, following your dream, your wish. And then our next energy is the moon. And the moon is the intuitive, the emotion, the subconscious, your dreams, the illusion. And when the moon is out, things are a little bit in shadow, which we often refer to our shadow and our subconscious mind together, the shadow self. And when the moon card shows up in reading, it generally means that you're not seeing something quite clearly, because in the moonlight, of course, things are not as clear as they would be if the sun was out. And but it is a call to pause and to introspect and to go find the wisdom that is within you, within your being, and to seek that out, and also to seek divine guidance in getting those things that are quote unquote under the moon out of under the moon. And so our next card then is the sun, and the sun is the things in this life that make you happy. It's the happiest card in the deck, and it is the energy of joy being offered by the universe, and it is in following our star that the sun is realized in your life. So I think we'll just go ahead and get started with the star. I have the Stained Glass Tarot for us to clarify with today, and I also have one more deck should we need it. And then a couple oracle, Shadow Work and Light of Path oracles that we'll look at too. What do you have to teach us today about our star, Spirit? Okay, at the bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. Yeah, definitely. And the King of Wands is a king that represents passion, represents passionately driven energy. The King of Wands is the king that if you want to send a king to war, you're going to send the one that is most passionate about the outcome. Because even when he's down, he's not going to give up. And our next our next card is the King of Pentacles. Yes, it takes planning. As I said, the star isn't something that just happens for you. While you will have talents that will support your star, the star is something you have to reach for. You have to reach for your dreams. You have to make them become a reality in your life. You have to not give up, but you also, as the King of Wands indicates, as your supporting energy, you have to not give up, but you also have to make a plan. And the King of Wands in mental energy because I read my downlines as mental, emotional, and spiritual in a row. The mental energy, the King of Pentacles, he's the master builder. He's going to build a plan that's solid. He's going to follow it, A to B, B to C, C to D. It's going to be methodical. He's going to bring it into physical existence. And Pentacles, for me, are always about 3D work. And then the Ace of Wands. So beginning in the heart space, beginning with the passions of your heart. In the heart space, the Ace of Wands. And aces always also indicate self. And so this has to start with a dream that is within your heart for yourself. And while it may encompass many other people, your driving force does have to begin with yourself. And then our last card out is the Six of Swords. So in spiritual energy, and this person is in, these people are in a boat on, and of course the boat is in water, and swords are thoughts. And the Six of Swords is about balancing your thoughts and becoming more peaceful. And the water indicates love, and it indicates to check in with the heart and do a balancing of the heart and the emotional the mental and the emotional energies, and maybe a little quieter in the mind and a little more feeling. And I think that's really beautiful, because that really, for me, does explain what you have to do in order to bring your star into a reality. And the energy for that is there. King of Pentacles, building. Ace of Wands, beginning in the heart with the self. And, the Six of Swords, not so much mental activity, feel more and think a little less. Calm the thoughts, calm any negative thoughts. Let's see, the moon. Yes, let's look at the moon. One last shuffle. Spirit, you line us up for the moon. What did you want to teach us about the moon? Okay, better. And again, the moon energy is it rules your intuitive powers and the things that you know without really knowing them. The sun. The energy supporting the moon is the sun. That's cute. Oh, Spirit, you're funny today. And the sun, which we've already talked about a little bit, is reaching for happiness. So the moon a lot of times will be where your fears lie. The boogeyman lives in the dark. And there's not quite enough moonlight ever to really feel safe when it's dark out if you've been spooked. And your fears live in that aspect, that moon aspect. And your intuition and introspection into the wisdom that you do hold, like through meditation especially, will align you more and more with the energy of the sun, with what your happiness is, what your goal is. The sun is your goal. Happiness is your goal. That's why we're here. We're here to learn, but also to experience true happiness and joy and peace and love and all of those things. I love Eckhart Tolle, how he says that Jesus said, I wish for you, I want for you the fullness of life, meaning the abundance of life. And in all areas, not in just one or two areas, but in every area of your life, fulfillment. Okay. Oh, well, I guess we were going to shuffle it one more time. That's okay. Maybe I had it out. Two of Swords. Don't be blind. Seven of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. High Priestess. And now on the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. And she is the seat of your intuition. Your intuitive faculties are offered to you through the energy of the High Priestess. And that is, and the moon also. The moon card is ruled by Pisces. And Pisces is the most intuitive astrological sign. And of course everything has its negative and positive. As we talked about, the moonlight maybe not making everything clear, and your little boogeymans, they live in the moonlight, but the High Priestess is there definitely in the moon energy, or what comes with the moon energy to show you the way out. So in the mental energies is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords in this deck, it's not as clear, but one of the things I love about the traditional deck Two of Swords is that the swords are held across the heart space, and the swords are thoughts, and so you have crossing thoughts, and they can be your thoughts that are crossed, that are not in alignment, they're not agreeing. You have two different takes on a situation, or your thoughts and someone else's thoughts. But because they're crossing over the heart space, it indicates that the person isn't really listening to those thoughts. And also the person is almost always blindfolded, but seated also, which indicates the need to rest. And so essentially, when we're blinded, the blindfold is always loose. So we could take the blindfold off and we could see clearly. And when things are under the moon, it is an indication, just like the Two of Swords in the physical. It's a spiritual indication, just like the Two of Swords in a physical way indicates that you're not seeing the situation clearly and that your thoughts are in the way. Put the thoughts down, put the swords down, and let your heart space become open, and then start working with the energy between them, balancing them, because twos are always about balance, of course. All even numbers are. And then the Seven of Cups, for me, is always a little bit of confused energy, and cups indicate love or emotion, and it can indicate that you have options, and you do have options. You always have options in every situation. To be willfully blinded or blindfolded will make you feel like you don't have options, but in every situation you do always have options. And that is one of the beautiful things about the Seven of Cups, is it always does indicate that you have options, and that you don't have to be blind. One of the options is that you don't have to be blind. But it indicates that you have choices, that you could make different choices. And so from a place in the heart, and as you seek to understand what is in your heart, those choices will become apparent. And then the Eight of Pentacles. And Pentacles always, to me, indicate, it's earth energy, always indicates to me some 3D work will have to be done to bring into the physical reality what you are trying to see. So it's about buckling down and locking in, and actually doing the work that is going to be required to get out the energy of the moon, to see clearly, to feel your intuition, because the moon is a little bit of an illogical energy. A lot of times it's kind of where our wild aspect within us lives. But the Eight of Pentacles always offers the work, the energy to do the work, and that is in a spiritual energy placement. So and the work a lot of times will look like meditation, introspection, setting the conscious thoughts aside a little bit and considering more of the emotional aspect of it, of the situation. Balancing, always balancing, knowing that you're not without choices. And the Sun, as clarified by the King of Cups, which is beautiful. The King of Cups, full heart, anything that brings you true happiness in this life is going to bring you the Sun. And happiness, of course, is an emotion, and it begins with a full heart. And the King of Cups is definitely the energy of a full heart. He's never going to throw his pearls before swine. He's not going to give his love away without expecting reciprocation, because he's a king, and he expects to be loved in return. As he gives up, he expects it in return. So always know your worth. He knows his worth. Know the worth of your heart. When he comes out, worthiness is always one of the things. Really? Oh, it really is in reverse. Okay. Seven of Wands. So we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. And I'm pretty OCD about them all being upright when I shuffle them to put them away, and I check them when I shuffle them when I get them out. So when one ends up in the reverse, I generally do assume, and I always ask if it's supposed to be. So the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Seven of Wands is a defensive position, and maybe a standing your ground kind of in the mental energy. This is mental energy. passionately standing your ground. And in the reverse, what that would indicate to me is that to be more open, that you don't have to put up a block, that you can be more open, that it is maybe someone that I'm reading for struggles with not being defensive or not being letting their passions take over them more than being quieter and more reasonable, more logical. And so as you follow your happiness, the Seven of Wands in reverse would indicate to me that possibly just not being defensive and being more open to other people's perspective. And then Judgment, a spiritual energy card. Judgment in the heart space. Finding the judgment, I would say, not in your mind, not in the Seven of Wands, but judgment in the heart space. And judgment is about balancing the energy between you and someone else, between you and yourself, with logical, clear reasoning. Not getting maybe too swept away by the passions from the Seven of Wands. And then the Two of Pentacles. And again, Pentacles for me are always about doing some form of 3D work or having a 3D outcome, because Earth signs, they don't do anything that isn't practical. And Two is always about balance, of course, and it's kind of like juggling within yourself, the energies that are within yourself, between the star and the moon to get to the sun, so that happiness can be had. And one thing that I would say about happiness, a very strong truth that I personally learned, which was, I first heard it from Abraham Hicks, and if you need anyone else to be different for you to be happy, and maybe that's indicated by the Wands energy that's here in the top card. If you need anyone else to be different for you to be happy, you'll never be happy. You did come to be happy. Happiness is part of the journey. It's part of the fulfillment. And so if you are choosing to take a defensive position against someone else in your mind, in the mental energy, and you are using that to separate yourself from the happiness that you came to have, that is natural to you, then you'll never be happy. If you're always giving your power or your happiness away to someone else, because in your mind, because you need them to be different for you to feel happy, you're not going to be happy. And your happiness is important. It is a huge part of the reason that you're here, was to experience joy and happiness and peace, none of which you can feel while you are negatively giving your energy to someone else. And you're not doing them any good either by sending that energy to them, and it does send energy to them. Your thoughts and feelings, as they go out of you, they go to the person that you're having the thoughts about, and they don't benefit them in any way. And it also keeps both of you locked in this cycle of negativity, and it disallows them being different. You're actually helping them to continue whatever pattern it is that you're upset about. And so when I learned it, I was in a very toxic relationship, and I would say to myself probably 100 times a day, if I need anyone else to be different for me to be happy, I'll never be happy. And it is important that I'm happy. I came to be happy, and so I will be happy now. And what just saying that did for me, because it was just long enough for me to break the negative energy that was going out of me and realign with my thoughts, because words have power. That's why I call it spelling, because you are actually casting spells with the words, whether you're just hearing them in your mind or you're actually saying them. And I would say this out loud. It would help to shift, because as you say happy that many times, it begins to shift the energy that is within you. And then I would, in my mind, try to pivot. And pivot is kind of a Sagittarian energy gift. The ability to go in a direction and then just decide to go in a different direction, to be able to pivot away from something uncomfortable. And one of the things that I would say is, especially if you can't sit with the energy maybe the negative emotion that you're experiencing between you and the other person. Pivoting is your better option. If you can sit with the energy without the dialogue about the other person, awesome, do that, because it will take you to happiness much faster. If you cannot, then say to yourself, if I need anyone else to be different for me to be happy, I'll never be happy. And it is important that I'm happy. That's why I came. And so I will be happy now. So, I think we'll do, I don't know that we need any more clarifiers. If I was going to clarify anything, it'd be that Seven of Wands. But I think it came pretty clear as we got further down on it. I want to do Path of Light, I think, first. And we'll just see what Spirit has from the Path of Light deck. This is such a pretty card deck. Oh. I'm going to do two from this one, I feel like. Okay, we'll do three. I'll show you the back of these ones. These ones are just beautiful. I think they're just lovely. I love trees. Oops, turn that one over. Okay, right. Reincarnation. Okay, 25. Becomes a 7. Spiritual perfection. Reincarnation. Reincarnate your dreams if you have to. Reestablish them. If you have, through life, been trodden down enough that you have given up on your dreams, Spirit is saying, reincarnate them. Bring them back. Resurrect them. Your dreams are for you. Find a way. Redemption. And to me, that just indicates redeeming the things under the moon, going in and getting them. And service, yeah. Serve yourself first. Always give service to yourself first. Serve your happiness first, because if you're unhappy, you don't have anything to offer anyway that anyone else is going to benefit from. Everything starts with the self. And so if you inside are in a state of unhappiness, all you can offer to anyone else is also unhappiness. And so you don't have anything to offer that would be beneficial to you or to anyone else until you serve yourself first and change the thought, get out of defensive stances, and begin to at least see there's probably something about that person to appreciate. And you can find it if you look for it. So change your perspective. Change your defensive stance into one of, there are things about this that I appreciate, even if it's yourself that you're in a defensive stance against, which I have done. There are things in there for you to appreciate. Find them. Illusion. I said we were going to do this one for the moon. Seek reality, even if it's raw and challenging. Yeah. Illusion. And that was what the moon energy is. It's the illusion. And there's Two of Swords, willful blindness, is all part of the illusion that has to be worked through in order to find reality. And reality is not always comfortable. It's not always fun. And that definitely the Eight of Pentacles energy, that work energy, it's necessary, because those things that are under the moon that we're suppressing in our subconscious mind, they're uncomfortable. And your ego would like them to stay there where they're less uncomfortable and in your face, but facing reality so that the sun can come out. That's important, most definitely. This was pretty fun. This was cute. If you feel called to a personal reading or spiritual counseling, I'd love to work with you. The email for that is in the description if you would like more free information about a spiritual healing path and loving yourself. Our website is also in the description box. And I hope that you have a blessed day. Namaste.